FBI Director Kash Patel testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee yesterday.
Now, Patel faced questions about firing certain FBI agents who have now filed a lawsuit against him, the Epstein files and Charlie Kirk's assassination.
The most viral moments seems to be an exchange that Patel had with Democratic Senator Cory Booker.
It started when Booker blasted him and said President Trump would cut him loose. Let's watch.
I don't think you're fit to hand the bureau, but here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this, I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr.
Patel, of course, wasn't going to let that slide. Here was his response.
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is my
I follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It
tear
is my
this country
time
apart.
to address
There should be a
your
unifying-
falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can try
embarrassment
all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not
Senator,
take
it is my
responsibility
time.
for what
You
you
had your
have said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making a
time is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what my
you
time
tell-
is.
Senator,
You can't lecture me.
you can tell me
Sir,
my time's over?
You may be the charge of the
I'm not
FBI,
going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Another constructive day on Capitol Hill.
As expected, the conversation eventually turned to Jeffrey Epstein. Senator Adam Schiff questioned why Ghislaine Maxwell was recently moved to a minimum security prison and suggested there may have been outside input that led to this outburst.
I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds.
What I am doing is
most-
protecting
the
this country,
most- the
providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness-
and
the most
combating the
significant witness,
weaponization of
the
intelligence
Epstein
by the likes
files
of you.
cover-up
And we have
gets
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you
January
call that
6th.
being
You are
in
the
the
biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to this
This stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter coward.
I can tell you, after like years of being behind the scenes and like pulling video from Associated Press wire of foreign countries having like fist fights in their Capitol buildings and all the things that they have going on, we are literally there. It's like so embarrassing that we watched the Maha hearings with RFK Jr. We're watching this. It's just like constant screaming, nothing being done. But also, you know, you're seeing one whole side of the aisle, like Tom Tillis was in there praising him for his response to Charlie Kirk, but Democrats were saying how disastrous his response was. And there just has to be a way to have like a little bit more decorum for public office and figure out how to have dialogue about these things. Like,
Well,
yes,
tell
there were
Cory
faults.
Booker that. He started just going, you're about to lose your... What was the point of that little rant?
Right, he was being condescending to him and then expected him not to respond. That's like unreasonable.
Stupid.
It's certainly unreasonable. But there has been talk, even among conservatives, about Kash Patel losing his job ever since the Epstein files and him being one of the main people saying that he's going to get these released and the information released to the satisfaction of the MAGA base. So Cory Booker wasn't telling a lie. He was telling what people are actually saying.
MAGA's not happy with Pam Bondi or Kash Patel right now.
That's a
And
fact.
That is a fact. Also, the second part, I thought the Cory Booker thing was ridiculous. Cory Booker's antics are often ridiculous these days. But the question from Adam Schiff about why was Ghislaine Maxwell moved to a minimum security don't tell me that's below my paying grade. I'm not paying attention to that. You knew, dude, you're going to get questions about every aspect of Epstein-related stuff. You put yourself in this situation because you went on podcast after podcast and made Epstein your issue, so then you're going to get questions about it, including that. And so don't come unprepared to answer a question about that. I found ridiculous. And they go, well, Adam Schiff is Russiagate. Yes, he's Russiagate. Adam Schiff is terrible, but that doesn't absolve you of the basic responsibility to answer basic questions like that.
And realistically, senators have to go home and answer to their constituents. Constituents are realistically asking questions and interested in hearing more about what feels to be hidden about Epstein. And so I know that a lot of times we talk about how this is going to be Trump's issue and continue talking about it, but every time we get down to the bottom of it, you specifically point out Pam Bondi and Kash Patel as part of the main problem of overpromising and under-delivering. And now that we're here, since he is the top person in charge, and we know for sure Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a minimum security prison, that makes people uncomfortable thinking that, is there a path down this road where she gets pardoned, and why? What information is she giving? And it seems more like, who are you protecting? What other big names? And then when you have the survivors that were on Capitol Hill, arguing their, or sharing and expressing their plight to the world, and then President Trump kind of saying this is a hoax, it makes it seem like there is a larger conspiracy or questions to ask about why they're being downplayed in this way, why Ghislaine Maxwell was moved, and why Kash Patel seems to be unsure when the buck usually should stop with him. He had all the answers before we had before we got to this point. He had all the answers. We were going to release all this stuff, and now he's quiet. And so this should be a trending
example. He's quiet because he
example.
realized he doesn't have those answers, that there is less there than meets the eye, that there are credibility problems with the
He said, "Do you think I'm not involved? I'm not
victims,
involved in every little part of this."
It's the principal wrongdoers are Epstein and Maxwell themselves.
So why was she, so answer that question then? Why are we treating her?
That's what he said.
By asking her, we asked her questions. The next day she's moved to what people said is a more accommodating accommodation for her, which is like, why are we accommodating somebody who is a criminal and has done these vicious acts to children? Like, why are we accommodating them in any way? They don't have to talk to, they didn't need to talk to you because nothing changed, and a known perjurer is not going to really tell the truth that we know. She may or may not, but why should we take that word? Why was that useful to anybody? And I think also that there needs to be a broader look on a macro level about when you have leadership that President Trump specifically championed going down and talking to these senators like we saw RFK or like we're seeing Kash Patel without sufficient answers. That's very problematic of people being in positions that they're not prepared or equipped to handle, because these are real questions that Americans are asking. You're seeing pieces on both sides of the aisle written about MAHA policies, whether they like them or not. So why can't you answer to? We're seeing vaccine funding being taken away. So then RFK needs to answer to that. So when you are in this position, or Kash Patel in this instance, you fired a bunch of people at the FBI, but don't want to explain yourself, want to be defensive. You have to explain why this makes sense. Was it politically motivated, or was it just something that needed to be done because there was a discrepancy in the way they were doing their job? I think there's a list of things that he must answer to. People just think they're in these public positions that they're voted into, and they could just have carte blanche to do whatever they want. And senators understand that they could be on the chopping block by not getting these questions answered. And so as much as it is political theater, a lot of what Cory Booker was doing, in my opinion, of like, oh, I want to embarrass you publicly, fine, mission accomplished. It was a little funny, but also no answer was given to the questions that were at hand. And that's the bigger problem for me.
That's the bigger issue. But to Cory Booker's point, I have no knowledge or reason to think Kash Patel or Pam Bondi, for that matter, that their jobs are in any danger. There is no sign that these complaints from MAGA world are getting back to President Trump. He seems to like and have confidence in both individuals, and I'm not hearing any rumblings that they're in trouble. So
Trump doesn't want another tell-all book coming out from somebody that he slighted. So we all understand that he probably is going to hold this cabinet and these appointees closer to him than he did the first term, because we all know how that turned out.
Next up, the popular streamer, well, popular among some people, Destiny, got into a big argument with Anna Kasparian over Charlie Kirk and political violence on the Piers Morgan Show. We'll look at that. Stay with us.